The future of critical minerals in Africa is an important one. It holds between 30 to 40% of the world's reserves for critical minerals. Critical minerals are lithium, copper, cobalt, nickel, essentially what we call green minerals or transition minerals for battery use, electric vehicle battery use. What we've seen out of the recent Trump administration, a lot of tariffs that have come up, but also there is, with the engagement with Ukraine, a real need and desire from Trump's administration to diversify risk away from relying on China for its rare earth and its critical minerals. US predominantly uses these minerals for defense purposes, space exploration and technology. And so because the world's processing of critical minerals resides in China, about 90%, I believe that the current tariffs and all the moves that are currently being made by the US government are specifically to ensure that the US supply chain is a bit more robust and less likely to have volatility and protectionist measures that are coming out of China at the moment. However, Trump is also engaging with protectionist measures. And so we're living in a very fluid environment right now where there is a lot of interest in these critical minerals. And so Africa will be a very important player in the global market. So critical minerals are needed for the energy transition. We look at hydrogen. For example, this is, you need a number of critical minerals to be able to deliver this. I think what I would say is that Africa's not at the point where we can begin processing critical minerals and manufacturing them. There is still a lot of energy requirements to put that in place. The three fundamentals any nation would need to process and manufacture are things such as cheap, reliable power, access to water, and sound infrastructure. And so wherever those three are, it will make it a lot easier to be able to develop minerals processing and manufacturing. However, there are a number of governments and also regions that are looking at how to adopt 10 to 15 year view processing and manufacturing practices on the continent. And in terms of essentially to create jobs as well. We've seen the development of the Lobito Corridor, which is going to be a very vital space for moving minerals from the DRC and Zambia all the way along the corridor to the Angola port. Also, Dar es Salaam port will be part of this corridor. So there'll be two ports. And so from my perspective, this would be a very opportune time to consider what manufacturing and processing can take place in this region as well. But more broadly across Africa, there are opportunities because we have an abundance of minerals. But in the Critical Minerals Africa group, we very much advocate for looking beyond just battery minerals. So how can we utilize minerals to develop industrialization? The likes of iron ore and copper, for example, do have definitive markets, and so which means they have multiple uses, which would make it a lot easier to gain finance for these items or these minerals. But yes, there's a lot of opportunity here to accelerate critical minerals processing and manufacturing in the near future.